Hello, everyone, and you're welcome to another episode of the 40 podcast, Lessons on Life, Love, and Loss. And I'm here with two of my best guys, my brothers. We have between us, we have about 30 years of friendship.
40 years.
Combined. Yeah.
45.
And I am absolutely happy. In fact, we both clock 40 within a month of each other. I'm happy.
Each other.
Yeah. I'm happy to welcome Okhigbochie, Quincy Okhigbochie, and aka SLIM, and Mr. Olumide Aniyikaiye, aka Olumide.
I changed that AK because I started making money.
Okay, Lou Millionaire. Yes, he has quite a lot of AKs. Welcome guys to the pod.
Thank you.
I'm excited. I mean, we almost didn't. In fact, we moved it so many times, but I'm glad that we've been. Yeah. So I mean, quick one. I mean, I would always ask. I mean, I know I pretty much have like an idea of how growing up was, but I want to hear it. I mean, because we really want to know how did growing up affect your perspective on life? How did growing up affect how you see life, and how you were able to surmount challenges, if any? What was growing up like for you? Let me start with Ose.
Growing up for me, wow. The first thing that comes to my head is I had a strict dad. I had a strict father. Maybe one of the things we always thank God for, he traveled a lot.
Yeah.
But once he was in, everybody was locked in.
Yeah.
You must always have, once he's in, everybody's logged in, and you must always have a book in your front. You get, so we didn't have so much freedom to do what we saw the other kids outside doing. They were always outside playing. To us, we're like, shit, this is fun. What the hell is this?
Wait, so I mean, I want to understand something. Like you had Ose has 5 brothers.
Yes, I do.
Yes, you have 5 or 4.
I have 4 brothers.
You have 4 brothers, including you have 5. So is it that he didn't allow you guys to do the typical things that boys do, play football, run around, or what was that about?
No, he didn't really. He didn't allow us to do the typical things that boys do. Like literally, even when he's around, no TV, no nothing, just be in the room and reading. Like there was a day I was in the room, I was so tired, I was freaking reading a hymn book, and he just came, he just paved. Okay, good. And he didn't even care what I was reading.
As long
as you are just reading a book, you get. So yes, but like I said, it balanced because he traveled a lot.
Yeah.
And my mom isn't a strict type.
Right.
So once he's out, we are free to do it all, to play ball, to watch TV, to go out and interact. So I think we kind of had balance of both worlds.
Okay.
The restriction and the freedom.
Right.
In the era of restriction, we actually read our books, our homeworks, serious with work, and in the era of freedom,
Yes,
we had the balance. And how it affected me growing up, especially when you go into school and you get you can never discount your upbringing. It affects you.
Yes, it does. It does.
No matter how you want to break free from it, it affects you. It literally shapes your mind. It really shapes how you do a lot of things. So with that balance, going into the world, going into school, I knew that yes, I had to read, and I knew that yes, I had to have time for interaction, and I had to have time for reading. So I don't know.
Nice. Olumide, how was growing up for you?
Well, I mean, growing up was quite interesting. I mean, the first time, I would even say I was born grown. So, because being a first child, a lot of responsibilities start on my shoulder. But when I was growing up,
first child out of how many siblings? I know that Ose is the second. So how first child out of how many siblings?
I mean, so it's a multi-family
Okay, setup. Yeah.
It's a multi-family setup. So So when I say siblings, I mean I have my own. I'm the only child
From your mom?
from my mom,
Right.
from my dad. I've got step siblings, and I've got cousins that are also siblings because I grew up with my cousins.
Okay.
So first child out of 11.
Wow.
Yeah. So growing up was really interesting. So I would say that, you know, I feel like I was specially put in my family for a purpose. All right. And if you look at the circumstances around my growing up, so at a very young age, so I started first living with my grandmother. So we developed a very strong relationship, and there were, like I said, there are certain circumstances.
Right.
So, you know, growing up with your grandmother, then going to live with, you know, your dad, and then going to live with your aunt and uncle. Yeah, so it's been...
So you moved around a lot?
Well...
Not a lot, but
not a lot. Not a lot. I stayed with my aunt and uncle.
Right.
Yeah. So my aunt is my mom.
Yeah.
Technically. My uncle is my dad. So my uncle was, you know, much like Ose parents, was a disciplinarian. Very strict.
Right.
Very, very strict. No nonsense man. When he was coming from far away, when he
Once he pressed the horn of his car, you could tell.
He didn't even need to press the horn of his car. So the Datsun L'Oreal that he was using then, you know, in the early 90s, they used to put those halogen lights that they will put on top of the fence. They will put it in front of...
In the front, yes.
In the front.
Yes.
So that thing was so bright. When it's coming, when you see one light, because we're living in Abuja.
Oh, okay.
And you know, I mean, those days there were a lot of bush. There was forest and everything.
Yeah.
When you
see the lights, you know that it's coming.
Because we're living on that Asokoro stretch.
Okay.
So there's this Dantata and Sawo.
Yes. They were a construction company. Yeah.
Yes. So when you see that light, you knew that, you know, my dad was on his way. And when he comes, and you know, is number one is AKT. Number two is educated.
That's a lethal combination.
And number three is a strong Christian. I would say fanatic Christian.
Right.
Yeah. So not an extremist. But
was he an academic?
He wasn't an academic. But I mean, it was someone. I mean, when they were growing up in those days, there was a lot of discipline.
Yeah.
So I mean, he followed routines. So when he comes back from work, he eats, he lays down, he reads. When it's 9 o'clock, we sit down, we watch TV, we go and sleep. So it was more like you wake up in the morning. I know what I was supposed to do. My siblings know what they were supposed to do. I come back in the afternoon. We knew what we were supposed to do. At the certain time, there was siesta.
Wow.
At the certain time,
a regimented life.
It was very regimented.
Much. Yeah.
At the certain time, you go outside and play. We used to go outside and play.
Wow.
At the certain time, you go outside and play and come back very. By 6 o'clock, you must be inside. So if he comes back, if he meets you outside before, after 6, there's a problem.
Trouble.
You understand? So by 6 o'clock.
Wow.
7 o'clock.
But he went out. How did he make sure that those rules were followed?
Morning devotions every day.
Wow.
And night. So in the morning, we knew what we were supposed to do. In fact, we used to eat with a roaster.
Wow.
And you never deviated from that roaster?
We didn't deviate from the roaster. Saturdays, Ogianakara.
Standard.
Sundays, bread and tea. In the afternoon, pounded yam. At 10 o'clock. At 10 years, I started pounding yam. At 10 years, I started pounding yam. Okay, maybe 13 years. But
okay.
At 10, I'll be holding the...
You're already holding the pestle already.
The mortar.
The mortar, sorry.
Yeah. So it was that kind of very strong Christian, disciplined upbringing. Nobody can come and look for you. You are not allowed to have friends, but you're allowed to play. You must always come first in your class.
Wow.
You know. So by 5 o'clock, my dad wakes up. Once you hear the sound of his door,
as in,
you are conditioned to wake up. It was much like we were living in fear.
Yeah, I was going to say that it was more of a fear-driven household than a love-driven household.
Well, so it's a combination.
Yeah, okay.
Well, the combination. But you know, for some people, I think I might not go that route, but
yes.
I believe that, you know, most of those things were in our own best interest, and it was as a result of the love.
Yeah. So I want to say now that then you can say it was fear driven.
Yeah.
But right now, in retrospect,
we needed that
they
to
understand.
They didn't even have the express. Yes.
No, I
They
mean,
didn't even have to express love.
our moms could express love.
Yes.
Yes.
So they knew how to express love.
Yeah.
But it was just that they didn't want to be our friends.
Yes, I could say between the three of us, that is like the common denominator. My dad too was a book thing. It must always come. In fact, the one time he saw somebody else's handwriting in my book and he beat me. He said, "Oh, that's a sign of laziness." You know, and I remember I was sick that day. But my question to you, Olumide, is how do you think that living that regimented lifestyle, how was it able to train you and shape you up into who you are as an adult right now?
So I mean, for some of us, we started living by ourselves very early.
Very early,
so
yeah.
We got into the university
in the early 20s.
Teenagers,
yeah.
We got into university as
19,
teenagers.
yeah.
So there was no control. There was no. You had that freedom, but you still had a certain level of fear. Mm-hmm. You know.
I was always afraid that my dad was going to show up in university one day.
It wasn't like fear. It was more like, you had a certain moral compass that was guiding you. So nobody had to wake me up in when we were in Futa to read. And it was I must read.
You knew what you were expected to do.
Reading, and I would always play, and I would always read, and I would always play, and I would always read. And it was much like.
I mean, you were able to find a fine balance.
Yes.
Between work, academics and play.
Yes. So what I felt was those things really molded us into fine crucibles, as the kind of people we are now.
Yeah.
So I mean, I was when I was growing up, our parents will travel. I was maybe 11 years old, and it would be myself, my younger brother, and my younger sister who would be in the house. There's instructions. Daddy was going to travel, mommy was not going to be around. So nobody must come into the house. You must not open the door
at night. Yeah.
You must lock all the windows before you sleep. You must switch off all the electricity. We have cooked this food. So Olumide, do this.
So do you think thrusting you into such leadership position at a very young age, do you think that was sort of preparation for? Because you've been in top management positions for the last decade or so. Like, did that prepare you for the roles that you step into right now?
So one of the things I learned early was the ability to take initiative and leadership. So I remember when we were growing up one day. I was growing up, and I was maybe like 6 years old or 7 years old, and I will never forget it. Water was on the floor, on the tile in the house, and my dad was sitting down, and I just came out of the room, and I saw the water, and I just walked beside it.
I didn't even know the story. I'm very laughing. I already know what the heck.
I just walked past the water. I just walked past the water. I'm going to give you two stories. I just walked past the water. I was like 6 or 7 years old. And then he then called me back. He then said, "You are very selfish." That was the first time I heard the word selfish. I didn't know what selfish meant. Because he asked me, "Olumide, did you not see the water?" I said, "I was not the one
that put it there, yeah.
I wasn't the one
who spilled it, yeah."
So the man gave me good whooping. And then, after giving me the whooping, he now said, "Listen, if your younger brother steps on it, that thing it might injure him or kill him. So whenever you see this kind of thing, next time, take it." So it's now a part of me. And this is where we're growing up. You see people in that kind of situation. There's very nonchalant attitude.
Yes.
That's one. I remember in Lagos, way back. Wow. Now. Some people you might not allow your children to do it, but while we were going to school, we're young people. Our shorts will be reaching our chest
because they were sewing clothes. They were sewing in advance.
So it was me, my younger brother, and my younger sister, and I had to hold their hands and cross the road. And this was the time of Mulwe.
Wow.
When Lagos was Lagos, we were young.
Yeah.
Because we're living in Bariga, and the school was almost opposite the house.
Okay.
But it was a very busy road in Shomolu at that time. So I come back from school one day, and I did not bring my younger brother with me.
Why? What happened? What happened? You forgot.
I forgot. We were in the same class.
Okay.
I mean, well, it's just a year difference. You know, we're in the same class. I'm like, okay, let's go. He doesn't want to go, and he was, you know, he's.
And you're like, man,
okay,
see you guys.
So I go to kindergarten, pick up
your younger sister,
my younger sister, and then we go home.
How was your brother going to find his way back home?
Of course, I mean, he was at.
No, he's not the same class.
We're in the same class.
We're the same class, so he could pretty much, find his way.
But you know that kind of, you know, you are the
leader. You are the elderly one, so you should lead the way.
One to guide and look after your siblings. So those things they were not written per se, but okay, if we had Olumide. So if we come back from school, when we're in secondary school, my younger brother was very stubborn, very recalcitrant. He will jump out, run away. If he doesn't come home, where's Ake? I don't know where he is. Go and find him. So I'll start roaming around looking for Ake.
So that sort of taught you to be more responsible for people. Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
So we were. You had to be responsible.
You had responsible.
You understand? Exactly. And the age differences were quite, you know, very small, but the gap was really small. But at every point in time, it was more like, okay, you are the leader, and after you, this is the designated leader.
Wow.
And we had our own roles and responsibilities.
Wow.
And I mean, until recently, we didn't have. It was not. There were no duties when it comes to a female. I used to go to the market to go and buy okra. I'll cut okra with my hand and all of those things. You know.
Wow. Also, let me go to you. I mean, I mentioned that, you know, you are the second, right, of five boys.
5 boys.
How did growing up in an all boys home affect? I mean, how you see life? I mean, I can't even begin to think how your mom was able to handle 5 boys in the house of your dad. But I mean, I see the rapport that, you know, 5 of you have. You guys have a really tight bond. Yeah. There isn't really anybody that can be termed as the black sheep per se. But how did growing up? I mean, because also so the way I see you guys, like, there's no like the way the last child talks to the first boy, is like everybody is cool.
Yes.
So how did how did that come about, first of all, and do you think growing up in an all boys household sort of, because so guys, Osa is one of the guys. Osa is a very chilled. The house can be on fire and Osa will be laughing. Like, see, you can't if you bring something of urgency to us, also first laugh. So like how did that your very, how do I put it, the word is not carefree, your very like chilled nature, laid back chilled nature, was that a function of your upbringing, seeing that there's no problem that can happen in life that, you know, can't be taken care of? Because I mean, that's one trait from you that I absolutely admire.
Just
you've never think about it that way, have you?
Yeah, I never thought about it that way. Just to, you know, okay, yes, all boys, 5 boys. I think one thing that my parents did was we're all always together.
Yeah.
We slept in the same room.
Yeah.
Which I think where we called, there was no brother this, there was no brother that.
I realized that. Yeah.
But
yeah.
I think we got to a certain point that our mom then looked at all of us and said, no, the firstborn, our elder brother, everybody called him Bros J. As in, before it was, everybody was junior, who cares? But I think there was a point that our mom was like, okay.
Okay, I think you have to factor that.
Yes, factor. So, you know, we all grew close-knit.
Yeah.
We all grew close-knit. 5 boys, always in the same room. We played together. Literally did everything together. And the distance between us is not so far apart.
Yeah.
So we all went to the same school. Mom was the one that took us to school every day and came to pick us up. The same school, primary school, secondary school. So I think that bond just grew amongst us. And we always just knew that, my brother, I always just have to have his back. Yes. My brother, we just had to have our back. Then for my I think that's a personality thing. I think I have an excessive amount of hope.
As in,
I really don't know where it comes from. I just have an excessive amount of
hope.
I'm just always hopeful. Like this building could be on fire. There's hope that tomorrow it will be better. That is why nothing really puts me in a panic mode.
Panic mode, yes.
Nothing really put me in a panic mode. I think that's just it's a personality thing. I don't know where that came from. I can't pinpoint any part of my life or any situation around my life that brought this up.
Yeah.
But I just know that there's always the hope in tomorrow.
Like I can't like there are some instances. Okay, so another thing, guys. Olumide and I and Ose, we all attended the Federal University of Technology at Korea, and that's where we met. Yes. So I mean, I know that there are times where maybe Ose has maybe a test or exam to write, and you can see that maybe he knows that he didn't read, but he's still laughing.
But
I'm like, wait, this guy. So I mean, like I've always said that, that is one trait of yours that I absolutely admire. So moving on as we tread towards the journey to 40.
Big pause.
Yeah, let me start with Olumide. What would you say is a part of your life that you would say is the in the last 4 decades, the most memorable, and moving into the next 4 decades, what do you because I mean you've done well for yourself. You've done well for yourself. Even if you don't know me, I'll tell you. You've done well for yourself.
I'll tell you too.
Yeah, you've done very well for yourself. Moving into the next 4 decades of your life, what do you see? What do you hope to achieve? What do you I want to aspire to? I mean, I'll ask also the same. So it's 2 questions. The last 4 decades, what would you say is that memorable event for you that will say probably like the life defining moment for you? And then looking into the next 4 decades, what do you foresee?
I mean, so there are a series of events that have shaped my life in the last decade. So I would not pinpoint one particular one, but there's a series of unfortunate events that have happened there, and everybody, maybe not everybody, but I think at some point in life, people will go through all of that. I may not be able to point to specifics, and most times when I look, much like Osa is an optimist. In fact, I am an hopeless optimist.
Yes. Olumide is also an optimist, but not on the same level as Osa. He still gets, but I mean, Olumide is also. I draw a lot of energy from both of them.
I'm an optimist, but I deal with a lot of pragmatism. Okay, so the way what basically drives me is that everything can also get better.
Yeah.
I've gotten into life-changing moments, so I've had a series of setbacks, and some I about them, when I can talk, family, career, I can talk even finance. I've gotten to a point where I lost all the money.
Wow.
Literally start one day and I transferred all my money into the hands of fraudsters. I always think about those things and say, okay, how did that happen? But it was, I take a lot of uncalculated risks. Or, well, would I say I'm risk averse, and I still take risk at the moment. So I can see something that I like and put all my energy into it and just pursue it.
Is that also part of the optimism you talk about?
Yeah, I feel like it's part of the optimism. Tell you what, in 2021, I was sitting on a pile of cash and I was thinking, okay, by the time this investment turns out, I'm buying a GL53. Turns out that I didn't buy a GL53. I lost all the money. And then 2022, I got a contract to get a cars. We bought all 3 cars. Our contract was cancelled. So we've not even 7 cars. Have you? Also?
They're about
4.
Okay.
4. forecast, all contracts were cancelled. We lick the wounds. We go. Then those things can be very painful.
Yeah, exactly.
Those things can be very painful. But yeah, they happen, and most of those things are what really gives you that resilience. Because I feel like it's even better that I have gone through a lot of these things at the stages that
you did. Yes.
I'm not sure.
If you were in your 50s, you would have
the energy
and the resilience to go through that same amount of pain and still withstand it.
It might break me, but right now I'm a tougher person, because of all those things that we've gone through, So all of those things. So life-defining moments, they are good life-defining moments. Like when I got my first job, like when I moved to South Africa, like when I moved to Ethiopia. Those ones are good ones. They've been incremental, I cannot say it's one particular moment, but they've been incremental on a day-to-day basis, and those things also add up. And everything right now is a culmination of
all those experiences.
But just to summarize it, I don't really take. I draw from the past, but I don't look at it, because every day we keep renewing ourselves, renewing our minds, our energies. For the future is really blank as it is. It's a canvas, that I just have to paint. But one thing that I always say is, to myself is, I'm going to live a fulfilled life and I will not be poor. Those two things are really, really the things that and I'm going to have a very close relationship with God. Those three things. That fulfillment is career, family, finance, and on top of that, spiritual. So of course, you get distracted every now and then, but having everything that happens to us in this world is in some way, I believe that either they've been preordained, predestined, or there are forces at work spiritually that are in control. Whether good or bad. So for me, the future, the outlook, I feel like
it's bright.
It's bright, but sometimes in reality, like where I am now, but I know it. There's the vision. There's the vision. But how do I get?
How to get there?
It can be very scary, and sometimes even right now, as we grow older, the thoughts become very overwhelming. You even get tired from the thought, because you can sit down and be thinking, you are calculating,
yes,
but then calculation doesn't really do anything.
Is the action?
Yes, sometimes even the actions. Sometimes it's not even our actions. I just feel like providence just sort of works in a certain way that it will bring things to life. Maybe based on your thoughts. Yes, the actions will, but it's not the actions that somebody reaches out to me and says, Olumide, blah 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 blah, can you come and do this thing? It's just so amount of money. You didn't struggle or work for it. You didn't struggle. You didn't work for it. It's not action. It is basically providence, God ordained, God engineered, working for you to be able to come out, across. So right now, and that's why I say spirituality is also very, very important, because there are forces that are at work every day in our lives, trying to pull us, in one direction or the other. So for the future, yes, I'm optimistic. Of course, we'll do my work, what I'm supposed to do, but family for me is also a priority. It's now a priority for the future, and more than anything, I think I'm gearing towards contentment.
Okay.
More than contentment. I mean, I have opportunities to be able to make a lot of money sometimes because of some of the people that I interact with.
Right.
But I also feel like to what end?
To
what end? I mean, if you're okay, you're not begging. If you're standing with your peers and you are really, really okay. Really, really okay. And I feel okay is also relative. But when you are okay from your own and you feel like you've done very well, you can smile at the end of the night. That's okay.
That's cool. Also, I'll ask you the same thing. Looking back at the last 4 decades, what would you say has been a defining moment for you that shaped your life as it is now? And I know what the answer will be, since you are Mr. Optimistic. But looking at the next 4 decades, what's the future looking like? What are the plans you have on ground, and how excited are you at the next four decades? We'll start with defining moments for you. It could be anything: the good, the bad, the ugly.
Defining moments for me. Well, like Olumide said, where we are right now, we're some of a lot of things. We're some of a lot of circumstances, some of a lot of experiences, a lot of happenings in our lives, and these little day-to-day occurrences have affected us and molded us into what we are right now.
Yeah.
If there are any specific ones, I will deviate towards the challenges I faced, especially in my career.
Yeah.
You get, and how it affected me so much, and over a couple of years, it felt as if it felt as if there was some sort of stagnation, drifting here and there, not seeming to have a particular direction. You get. So if I would say that period was really defining, because growing up, you should, right out of school, everybody had the idea of what they wanted, who they wanted to be. You would have literally written down by 22, by 25,
where you're going to be and all of that. You had the path defined for you.
So I'll be married, so I'll have a car, you get. Yeah. And when you look around, when you look around and it looks like, my friends are here doing this, and you are here doing, and you are here being this, and it's kind of, I don't know, but like I say, the
setbacks and everything have literally just molded you into
who you are, and now we are, as a person, you are more of, okay, what mistakes did I make in the past? Being careful not to make those mistakes again. Like literally every day, in every decision you make, in everything you do, you're looking, okay, no, I did this affected me, let me try to do it another way, because at 40, you are no longer an individual. You definitely have people looking up to you, relying on you, calling you daddy maybe.
Absolutely.
So everything you do right now
has a ripple effect on those people.
You have no idea how much of a ripple effect it has. You really have no idea of how much of a ripple effect it has. So more of day to day, we're trying to live. We are living and being careful in everything we do, while we draw up our future, what we want for ourselves. And I like what Olumide said. He said contentment. That is more of the future plan. Having a fulfilled and content life. Definitely not being poor, because yes, you need money in everything. You need money in whatever you are doing. You need money in whatever you're doing. But how do I say it? I'm trying to gather my thoughts here.
But I mean, the future looks. But I have a question, and it just dropped in my heart. I mean, it wasn't even in the notes for that person, because I mean, one common thing about you guys, you've had career setbacks and you've been able to bounce back. I mean, both of you are doing really well in your different fields of endeavor. To that person who is about to clock a milestone age, it may not even be 40, it could be 30, it could be 50, and they are wondering how this has happened to me. I don't even know how I'm going to get out of from this. I'm in a load of debt. I'm in a career. I'm in a job that I hate, and it doesn't look like there's no way out of it. I mean, as people who have been there and have come out of it, what do you have to say to that person? I'll start with Olumide.
Okay. I remember when I was talking to, I was going through a challenge at one point, and I was talking to a colleague, with an older colleague, And I used to talk to him very much because he was really deep. He had a very, very deep, very vast experience about life, And he said something to me. He said, if you are going to live to tell the tales of the war, you must not die in battle. So,
wow,
which meant that you have to find a way to pull through. Even if you are going to fail, make sure you fail forward. Even if you're in the battlefield, you've been shot, you have a shrapnel on your leg, you've been stabbed in the back, whatever is happening, just keep moving. That's basically the idea, and that's what keeps me going. Because ultimately, when you begin to have the feeling of self-defeat, self-doubt, you find out that it has this drowning effect. It's spiraling effect. The effect is psychosomatic. First, it starts with your mind, and then your body, and then it permeates every sphere of everything you do. You're just like, why? Because once you begin to say, why me? Why is everything? Why is this? Why is that? When you begin to ask yourself those questions, And I remember one time, one of my dad, my foster dad was saying something to me, and he said, Olumide, there is no affliction that is not common to men. So there is nothing that you've gone through that we've not gone through, that somebody here has not gone through. In fact, if I tell you my own story, so when they say those things to you, when you listen, you pick up, and most of these people have been able to make things out of their lives.
Yeah.
So some of those setbacks or seeming setbacks, in those times are supposed to be things that will, basically catapult you. And I will take a certain cue even from myself. In some of the things that I have done and I've excelled, usually I've come in the past from a place of pain. Maybe somebody disappointed me, and I'm like, wow, okay, I'm going to go back and do this thing. I can't imagine, so after disappointment, I feel like, okay, really? I can do this. Why would I even give all my energy or all my strength to this person or to this thing? So for those reasons, you then build yourself up. And that's where I talk about, then persistence. Persistence is really important in everything you do. Sometimes results will not come out. And in those places too, when you're not seeing the visible results very quickly, you're almost tempted to give up. You would almost be tempted to give up. So those things they happen. But the thing is, when you're in such a situation, the most important is never give up.
Never give up.
Never give up. I can imagine what it was like when you first started. You resigned your job and said, I want.
Exactly. I was saying before I go to, I was going to plug that in and say, I remember when I was on my 30th birthday, I was in a job I didn't like. The amount of income I thought I'd be earning at the time. I think I was still living with my parents at the time. Oh no, I was married then. But I knew that I didn't want to, clock 40 in the state I was. So it was a either go big or go home type situation. And then I resigned on the year of my 31st. And 9 years after, I'm happy that the story is different. So just thought also I need your take on that as well. For that person who is in a rut, who has gone through, who is in debt, who is doesn't know the way what to do. What word do you have as somebody who has been through the desert and made it out?
I'll say just keep moving. Just however if it's to walk, crawl, hop, pull yourself one step at a time. You just can't
stay in one place.
Just can't fold your hands and give up. When during the period of my challenge, one of my friends was trying to give me a pep talk and be like, Ose, don't give up. I'm like, I give up and do what? What do you mean by it? What are you? What give up and
what does that mean?
What does it mean? What does it even mean to give up? Yeah, I think the only people that ever give up are the people that actually, took their lives. But once there's life, once there's breath, once there's a will, just keep on. Just keep on. Yes, you're at a job you hate, but while you are doing that job, you look out. Do that course. Just do something. Find something. Olumide talked about providence. You never know where or when. Yes, you never know where or when, and that's the thing about providence. That's the thing we can't take away. We can't take away the supernatural from life. We can't take away supernatural. Things happen that are beyond explanations, that are beyond your imagination. But you have to be in the space for
those things to even happen to you.
Yes, for those things to even happen to you. You have to even be in the space.
Right.
So you can't be stagnant. You can't be stagnant, even if it seems as if even if everything around you seems stagnated. You're at a job you don't love. You lost your job. Just during the period of my challenge, I knew that I couldn't stay in one place. I would find something to do, even if it was way below what I could possibly see myself. And a job that they pay me 20,000 naira.
And you're coming from a place where you were earning...
But I just know I can't stay in one place. I even have to go out there to even meet the type of people I want to meet, to even get what I want to get. You can't just stay in one place. You just have to keep on. Wake up every day, go out, do the course, meet people, just find something within you to just keep on moving. And the Bible talks about the race is not for the swift or for the strong, but time and chance
happens.
Time and chance. You can't stay in one place and meet your chance. You can't stay in one place and time will come to you. You just have to go out there. You just have to keep on.
Amazing.
Just have to keep on.
Amazing.
That's all it is. That's all life is. You just have to keep on.
Amazing. Thank you so much, guys. I just want to say I'm proud of you guys. We call ourselves the Three Musketeers, and I'm happy to be surrounded by these guys. These guys are driven. These guys know what they want, and they're on top of their game. And I'm proud, so proud, to be called not just their friend but their brother. So in closing, we're about to shut down the episode. I mean, any parting shots from any of you guys? I mean, this is the 40 podcast, so I mean, you have the next 10 seconds to just say something. How excited are you to be clocking for? I was thinking about something that this 40 that they've been shouting. We are finally here.
Internally, I feel 25.
No. So the only thing about this 40 I feel is that now reading is becoming blurry. So yes. I think I need to get and then I'm told that you have to go for prostate cancer screening.
Then you have
to go for total body care.
Then you take more. You have to take more vitamins. But other than that, I mean, my energy isn't waning any at all. We have to keep going. I feel like this is probably like the last decade we have before we are supposed to slow down in quotes. You get. So this is one more chance. The next 10 years is that last decade. You have to put in as much work as you can, So I mean, what any parting shot from you guys before we shut down the podcast?
Well, I mean, like you rightly mentioned, from a fulfillment point of view, from a maturity point of view, from just priority point of view, I feel like right now things are beginning to shape, and there's a lot more clarity than we have had in the past.
In the past, yes.
Yes, and so now going forward, I feel like there's a lot of hope, but again, I don't know. Maybe I can. Let me twist this. When does midlife crisis begin? All the things that we've gone through already account for midlife crisis.
It reached to call them midlife now. Like, You know, I feel that midlife doesn't actually happen to you in the middle of your life. Really, what is midlife about? People just assume that. I think when you go through challenges and you go through, the relationship is supposed to make you strong and not swallow you. And I'm happy that, you know, of all the challenges we had gone through, none of it swallowed any of us. So, also, any parting shots?
No, actually, you know, they always say this life begins at 40. I thought about that phrase some. I really thought about it that, okay, why would they say life begins at 40?
What has changed? What has changed now? What has changed from last year and now? I'm just asking for you, from a personal, I don't know if you...
Last year as in 2023?
Or last year 39.
Last year 39, last year 40.
Yeah, what has really changed?
I think there is now more, to be honest, there's now more clarity as to, okay, this is the path I want to follow.
Sure? It's just a realization, I'm going to be coming to 40. There's nothing that changed. Just a realization, I'm coming to 40. Everybody...
Are you throwing a big party?
No, I'm not.
Yourself?
I do want to.
Also, is going to throw a party.
I do want to because I hardly.
Also, the party person. So
no, not that. But I hardly throw myself.
You only throw yourself a party. Yeah, I'm not sure you've had a party before. So I mean, you can throw a party now. My people want to. I've told them that now. Just give me money. Because, see, I'm a terrible host. I'm a terrible host.
But you have a lot of friends.
Exactly.
You are a terrible host. How?
When I say I'm a terrible host, like, I would rather be a guest than a host. I don't know. It sounds very weird, but I'd rather be a guest than a host. To be honest,
I'd rather be a guest than a host because the entire work of being a host.
It's the work exactly.
I keep a straight face most times, so I don't know which.
When drink finishes, that time they'll ask you. They'll tell you that there's no more wine. But also want us to do like a joint thing because his birthday is 4 days.
It's like
5 days shy of mine. So.
And mine is 23 days.
23 days. So I mean, we can.
Are you 40 too?
Oh yes, no, mine is 27.
Why do you think he's here? He's just
actually I'll be 25. But you know,
with 15 years experience.
The truth is, I was out yesterday and then I asked one lady. I said, "Guess my age." She told me 35.
I mean, yeah, you look good for.
Also, looks better.
What? Also, he's a vampire now. Also been the same size since uni and now.
I swear.
Also been the same size.
He was slimmer than this.
Yeah, well, that's why it's called SLIM. I mean, I envy you guys, man. It's just now that I've maintained the same weight the last 5 years. Before, my weight went from 0 to 100 real quick. I went from 1 set to so yeah. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you. Always a nice time talking to you. Yeah. I'm so glad that I got to do this with, like I said, my best guys. We've been through all the challenges they talked about. We've been through it, and I'm glad that we've come out stronger at the end. So cheers to 40. Cheers to many more decades of impact. Cheers to many more decades of impact of living the good life, of good things happening to us, and happy birthday, guys.
Thank you very much.
Alrighty, that was the 40 podcast, lessons on life, love and loss. I mean, follow my guys on the social media. Also, please give us your social media handles, please. Ose Quincy.
Okay, yes. Ose Quincy. I'm not a social media person.
Yes, but I mean Ose Quincy and Lou Millionaire at LUMILL. Spelled your account name.
Lou, the millionaire now.
The millionaire, yeah. Then Ose is OSE Quincy QUINCY. Yeah, this will be on my personal Instagram. So Adeshola _Balogun. Take care, guys. Peace.